Bob.
Hey, Zax.
So, we're going back at it again, and this time we're going to talk about Slapstick, Episode 2, Creeped Out Season 1. And
that was
this
the weirdest
one...
order you could have said that.
What?
Slapstick is the name of the episode. You should have said, like, Creeped Out, Season 1, Episode 2, Slapstick. But instead you went, Slapstick, Episode 2, Season 1, Creeped Out.
You know, each episode
you went specific
I think is
to general, not general to specific.
You know, my friend said I think specific to broad one time.
Broad, or specific to broad.
You know, each episode can't just be you roasting my intros. So,
maybe it can. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how
you leave a comment how you think of my intro.
Yeah, let's see if you feel the roast.
Yeah.
Feel free to leave your really mean comments.
Just cyberbully me, please.
Yeah. I guess I shouldn't invite that. It's not my channel. On the Steel Donut, I can always ask people to cyberbully us, but I shouldn't ask them to cyberbully you.
Oh, I said it too.
Okay.
So, I consent.
Ugh.
Okay. I'm
Play
gonna go
with your words.
Okay. I'm gonna move right along. So just so you know what we're getting into, this episode is all about a girl with embarrassing parents and she fixes them.
Or does she?
Well, that's the
Can that be our new thing, like, going forward? Like, when you summarize the episode and I ask, or does he? Or, like, or do they? Like, can we, you know? You're like talking about Kindle sticks, you know, next episode, and you're like, oh, the babysitter comes over, and I'm like, or does she? Like, can we?
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
Obviously not first episode. And we're keeping all of this. None of this is getting cut.
Right.
Okay.
Of course.
So they know what's going on. They know it's a bit coming up.
Because that's the best form of comedy.
The best form of comedy is to let them know that the joke is coming and tell them what joke is coming. So they know when to laugh.
Yeah, because I don't know how to put in sound effects, so there's no laugh track. So we'll just do that.
Do you think we put a laugh track in the Steel Donut?
Yeah.
No, that's you laughing.
What?
Yeah, no, I mean, whatever laughter you're hearing, that's from people around you.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a live laugh experience.
Wow.
We're the first YouTube channel to do that.
I mean, I went down to the studio and I...
Don't lie, we don't have a studio. Don't be ridiculous. Now you're just making things up.
Rockefeller Center. Steel Donut there. Saturday Night Live. Steel Donut.
There's gonna be
SNL. SDC.
Okay, well, anyway. Can I summarize this episode?
Okay.
Okay, it sucks.
Alright. Helpful.
Oh, but did you want a plot synopsis?
I already gave it. We're moving on to the recap now.
No, that's what I meant. A recap. It's the same thing.
Okay, so we start off... Oh my gosh.
Oh, this is in England. Are any other episodes in England?
I think like maybe 2.
A couple of them, yeah.
Yeah, they go back and forth.
Yeah, I'm guessing they had like a first unit and a second unit, and they were filmed in different, filmed by different teams. I wonder if they were written by different teams. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no way to...
We did not look at the credits.
I'm not interested that much.
Yeah, that's way more commitment than we're prepared to give.
Yeah, instead we're going to sit down and record for an hour talking about it instead of spending 5 seconds looking it up.
Well, like, you say anything that way.
There is objectively more effort going into this video than there is into looking it up.
Seemingly.
I'm still not going to do it.
Yeah.
My phone's right there. My computer's in front of me. I could just ask Alexa. No, not right now. Okay.
So anyway, we meet this girl. Her name is Jessi.
Oh, yeah.
And
Jessi.
They say a lot more than they said anybody's name in the last one. They want us to know her name.
Yeah.
So Jessi hates her parents. They let us know that right off the bat. And now we have some disagreements because I think they are delightful and just as charming as British parents could ever be.
And I think they're a little annoying. And Jessi thinks they're incredibly embarrassing. And I don't 100% agree. I do agree they are a little embarrassing. They're very dorky, and for like a teenager, I can definitely see them getting on. I can definitely say that if I were in her shoes as a teenager, I would have been very annoyed. But I'm not sure I would use the word hate. But I would definitely have been annoyed, and this is one of those episodes, just like you see this in TV shows and movies and stuff, where a kid asks for control, and then it's basically Click, you know the movie Click.
Yeah.
Where you get control. The main character gets control over something, and then they're never as specific as they need to be, and then things go awry, and they go, I don't understand what I did wrong, and I'm like,
yeah,
you weren't specific. You're never like. Okay, so basically, her parents embarrass her, and they embarrass her by being very dorky. Like, she comes down for breakfast, and she's a little bit high strung, and she's like looking at her parents, and her dad and mom are both wearing like pajamas or something, and mom has made some weird shake or like smoothie out of some weird green stuff, and it apparently smells atrocious, and she doesn't even know what's in it, which is like I don't know, that doesn't even seem dorky, that just seems unsafe.
That's like a weird goof that seems to be like running in their family because the dad doesn't even know what's in it. Like, they legitimately do not know what this woman is feeding them every day, but they know that they hate it. And they said, like, I think the dad even said something like, it makes me sicker than I feel. She's like,
but he says it as a joke. Either way, he calls her, he walks up to her and he hugs her, and when he hugs her, he makes a fart noise, and he calls her Dinky, and she's like, I thought we agreed we weren't going to call me Dinky anymore. And he goes, oh, right. And then later on, he continues to call her Dinky. And like, and that's again another one of those things where like clearly the two of them, the mom and the dad, I see how they got together, right? They're both goofballs all the time. They're clearly perfect for each other. I'm happy that they're happy. But this is where I remember I had an argument with Rogue about this when she watched this episode, and you and I disagree a little bit about this. You think they're delightful, and so you don't so much mind, but I'm looking at it from the perspective of, regardless of whether you like them or you don't, what they need to do is put some space between them and their child and recognize that this is a person, this is a small person who is trying to establish her own identity right now. She's literally going through the formative years of her life where she's establishing her own identity. And if she's going to be overly serious, if that's the identity she wants for herself, then that sucks. I'm not saying that I would date her, but I am saying that's also her choice, and like her parents need to back off and not just expect her to be cool with all the goofs, right? Because like if somebody's not up for goofs, like you know me, I love goofs, but if somebody's not up for goofs, it's not my place to force goofs on them. In the same way, it's not their place to force goofs on her, even though she's their daughter. Like they need to take a step back.
I hear what you're saying, and I agree to a point. I think my philosophy, granted, I am not a parent. I don't have a teenage daughter
or a philosopher
who hates me. So, that being said, I think that you should be allowed, whatever age you are, to be as goofy as you want when you are at home. Now, your daughter is embarrassed of you, and you're like aware of this. So I think maybe they do antagonize her a bit, but like they don't need to call her. I think we're on the same page here, because at home is different than being in public, for sure. Yeah, I think once they leave the house, the things they do, I'm like, oh, okay, I can see
Yeah,
why. I
like at
definitely,
home you're dressed in pajamas. Like who?
yeah, she's mad that they're pajamas. She's mad. Like one thing though, like also the one thing I will say though is like like they get on the mom's case because she makes this smoothie, but it's like, and we joke like she's killing them or whatever, but like it's clearly for their health. So that's not even
Mm,
like, I mean,
I don't. Hang on.
I
Hang
whole
on. I know we're supposed to assume it's for their health, but that's just because it's green.
I mean, I'm just going by like my own experience with a mom, and like she always made smoothies for us
Yeah.
that were
Okay.
like for your health. So like that's,
But
but
I mean,
I'm just
like,
saying I wouldn't count that. But like whether it's healthy or poisonous, it's not embarrassing. It's just a gross smoothie you don't want to drink. That also she puts down and doesn't get really forced to drink anyway.
yeah.
She's
But I
just
mean, like,
handed the cup.
I mean, look. If I walked up to you every morning and just waved this cup of weirdness in your face, even if I never forced you to drink it, that would still be very annoying.
I mean,
Especially if you know what reaction I'm going to have. Like, I know you're going to be annoyed and upset, and they know their daughter. They
but
know
can I
she's
just
kind of a stickler.
Here's
Like,
something
yeah,
else.
you know what?
But like, why are you starting
Here's the
off
thing.
the? Yeah.
I would just say, like, okay, look, you clearly, you two are goofballs. You wish you had a goofy child. You didn't win the lottery here. Your kid kind of sucks. And that's it. Like, that's all there is to it. Like, their kid kind of sucks.
I mean, but okay, but like to that end, why does she want to start off her morning with marshmallows?
I don't know. I don't know why they had the thing of marshmallows on the table
Because
at all.
like, I mean, because
Like,
like,
who just has a thing of, like, I
what?
understand a little
Well,
cookie jar. I
what's
don't understand a marshmallow jar.
now the next thing that I will say that I don't like? I hear what you're saying, but if I've been calling you Dinky your entire life, it's gonna be really hard for me to stop. So like he's like, so at one point he's like, I understand, but like you fall back into your habits because like you've been calling her Dinky forever. That's Dinky to you. It's always gonna be your Dinky.
Yeah, except
So
you also have to respect this person's sense of identity.
I guess I don't know. Maybe like you are just a really rebellious young kid more than
I wasn't
am.
particularly rebellious.
But I'm just saying, like, you take a lot of issue with things that happen in your household, and like I just didn't. Like I like all the nicknames that like my family had that are definitely embarrassing, and if they like called it out like in the middle of school, I would be super cringe about it.
Yeah, sure.
But I wouldn't like I wouldn't make a
here's the
big deal
thing.
about it every day, like at breakfast. Like you woke up and the first thing you're doing is telling your parents to change absolutely everything about their lives.
Yes.
Next, so
And that's why I say they didn't win the kid lottery. She sucks.
I guess okay, so let's
At the end of the day, she sucks regardless, right? So, like, it doesn't really matter how
like,
much they need to change, because
yeah.
what they should do is respect her sense of identity and allow her a certain amount of, like, privacy. And if they don't, you know, like, for instance,
Well,
I'm not religious, right? So, like, if my parents wanted to be religious around me, you know, they would do religious things. They would say religious things. You know, in a crisis situation, they might even say, like, I'm praying for you or whatever, right? But, like, they also know that in casual conversation, I'm not interested in talking religion with them. So they just didn't talk about it with me. And that's, like, them respecting my space, respecting my right to my opinion. And, like, I formed those opinions as a teenager, and, you know, my views have changed over time, and, you know, my boundaries have changed a little bit over time, and they respected my space. And I appreciated that, because it gave me a chance to grow into my own skin. And yeah, maybe I was a little bit too loose and I kind of tightened up a little bit, or maybe I started out as a tightwad and I loosened up a little bit, right? Sounds like this girl is going to start off being kind of a jerk and then, like, transition to being a little bit more fun-loving. You know, which she's supposed to have done by the end of the episode, but I'm not sure she did.
Well, okay, so like this is like we haven't even gotten past breakfast, and it's like 70 minutes in. So, darling,
it doesn't matter.
Just the main.
Everybody's heard everything we have to say on that, basically.
Yeah,
so
the last. So the
plot synopsis, go.
Okay, well, I'm trying. Jeez.
Go!
Shush.
Go,
Okay.
you idiot!
Stop!
What are you doing, you dummy?
Okay.
Go! Speak!
Okay, so
Speak!
the next... So, okay...
Speak!
Oh my goodness.
Speak!
We find out something of importance, and what that is their rich neighbors next door, or their fancy neighbors, because like they're neighbors.
Yeah,
But
I don't know. They live in kind of a very middle class, maybe even a slightly lower class house.
But
well, compared to an American house, I guess it's like it's a middle class house. But I guess we see their neighbor's house later, and it's like they've got a piano in the front room. And everything is sparkling.
It's kind of, but this is a neighborhood function. So maybe they're just really wealthy and they just want to stay in there and they kept remodeling or something. I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
I'm pretty sure that family's name was the Petersons.
Peterson or Patterson, something like that.
Something
but the point is that they are super fancy and nobody really likes them. They're really stuffy. And so the parents are like, what if we just blow it off? And then she's like, no.
We can't do that.
You have to go and not embarrass me. And that's basically that.
And the reason she wants to go is because, and I don't think they established that in this scene, but it is established in the episode. The reason she wants to go is because the Patterson or Peterson or whoever, their daughter is like one of the popular girls. And so she wants to at least be friends with the popular girls, if not be popular. So, she's like, we have to go so that I can look, we don't look bad, is the idea. Thing is, she's not friends with the Peterson girl at all.
No.
And, they are fairly antagonistic towards each other for the entire episode.
Yeah, so, so the next big scene, they go to, the pier or whatever, and she, is sitting at, some table while they go to fetch her gift. Now,
it's her birthday, isn't it?
Yeah, it's her birthday.
Yeah.
And, okay, I'm just going to say this really quick, and I will leave breakfast alone. Oh, wait, no. Wait.
What?
I think she shares a birthday with the mean girl.
Why do you think that?
Because I think it opens up with, her looking outside her window, and they're saying, happy birthday, Patty. Not Jessi. The rich people next door in the backyard are saying happy birthday to her.
Holy crap, yeah. What?
Leave a star. Okay, anyway.
Okay, hold on. I'm pulling up the episode right now.
Okay.
What the hell? So she looks out the window and she sees... Yeah, the rich parents are giving the girl these Lorca shoes. Lorca is Lorca, which is the really cool, popular kids' shoes. And then, and then, weird, they don't draw attention to the fact that they have a double birthday at all.
Yeah.
That's super weird. Okay. Yeah, so the rich girl has a birthday on the same day. And you see out the window that she's getting these Lorca, that's going to be important, Lorca shoes, which are apparently nice. They looked fine.
They're kind of velvety, which is cool.
They look like sparkly velvety Converses.
Yeah.
Not even Converse, like skater shoes.
So then next scene, we're at the beach and,
Not
the
at
pier.
The beach, at the pier, yeah.
Yeah, at the pier. And she's sitting at a table and her parents come back because they've gone to get...
They left to go do something.
Did she have an ice cream with her?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
So they left.
Here, Let me just check. I've got it open still.
All right. Did she have an ice cream? Because that leads into the next thing I'm going to say about why this is where it starts, where the bloom is off the rose, that I start to become a little disillusioned with her incredibly charming British parents.
She doesn't. Nope, she does not have an ice cream. She's
Okay.
She's sitting by herself, not eating or doing anything, while all the
So
popular girls are standing like 20 feet away, and they're, the Patricia is the name of the girl. Patricia's got
Patty
the
Patterson. Jeez. Okay.
let me make sure of the last name too. But Patty's got the new shoes on.
Yeah. Okay, so
And she's showing them off to everybody.
right. So the parents come up with ice cream and they're like giggling. Like they look like they're on a date, honestly. Like,
Yeah, they
oh,
look
you
like
got
they
some on
were
your
having
shirt.
fun.
And like, so then they come up so they did get her an ice cream.
Oh
and they
God,
give
her name is Patricia Peterson.
Patty Peterson.
Ugh.
How are you popular? Whatever.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'm surprised nobody calls her Pee-Pee. Well, you like that? The height of comedy right there, Pee-Pee. Instead of sound twice, Pee-Pee. Really does you in, really ties you nuts, really gets you going.
Yeah.
Pee-Pee.
Stop.
Pee-Pee.
Okay. Okay. Stop. So
One more time?
No.
Pee-Pee. That really got you. Huh? Really caught you off guard with the pee-pee.
I wasn't expecting it. Okay, so
Can we call her that now?
no.
Why not?
So the parents give her this box. They're like, and she's like, first really
So they come
excited.
up, Dad is having an ice cream cone, which
Getting
is like
ice cream all over his shirt, like he does not know how to eat.
well, not all over. He got a little bit on his shirt. It wasn't even that bad. I didn't even notice it until the character on the screen pointed it out. So it's like, I don't want it to seem like he was just debasing himself with ice cream, about to sacrifice himself to an ice cream god. So like it's not that big a deal. But like either way, he's a little bit messy with the ice cream. And so they come up with this box and they say, well, we got your birthday gift. And she's like, oh my God, you guys really did it. Wow. And she pulls out the box and it's a shoe box. But instead of saying LORCA, it says LORQA. And it's a pair of shoes which, at a single glance, I cannot tell the difference between them, to be honest. But there's probably some significant difference between them. Either way, it's the cheapo brand. And the mom is like, hey, it's just like the ones you wanted and got them on sale, They were like a quarter of the price, and like the daughter is like flabbergasted. She's horrified.
I will.
And so like the mom and dad are like, try them on, and like all the popular girls are watching over there. All the mean girls are watching from like across the way, and she's like, even though she's very embarrassed at this moment, she's still trying them on, which is like. If you really didn't want to be embarrassed, you could do something about this, namely just not try them on. Like, you could be like, I'll try them on when we get home. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, like, okay,
there's still things you can do about this.
It's really weird that they did it like this because most plots, like money can be tight, I understand.
Yeah.
So most shows would either do, like, if it was strictly a money issue, it would just be like, they wouldn't bring attention to the fact that it was on sale. They would just, it'd be like,
we got the shoes that we could get you.
Yeah, like,
and then if she complains, they'd be like, well, money's tight right now. Like, that's the way they would write it. Yeah.
Like, I don't even think I would say, like, we know it's not what you wanted, but we would just be like, here's your birthday gift. Just literally, like, leave it, like, just sweep it under the rug as best we got you something.
Shoes. Yeah.
But, like, or, like, I remember that 70s show, he specifically asked for something, but they're older parents, and they just didn't get it, so they just got the wrong thing, because parents can't understand things. Oh, that episode was so frustrating to me on, like, such an intense level.
Because we've all been there. We've all been there.
I wanted him to get a cassette player so badly. Anyway. back to this story. So the girls are laughing and watching, and then the dad, like,
Oh yeah, so
just
she tries on the
thinks,
shoes, and then the mom is like, "Oh yeah, let's walk around with them," and then like she like does this weird, awkward, very corny strut, which is like this is the beginning of like for sure you are in public, please stop.
yeah, no, definitely. Like, when
Like
you're
this
at
is
home, you can be as cringe as you want. Like, leave me alone, but you can be as
yeah
cringe as you
for
want over there.
yeah
But
you're
not
welcome to
in
do
front
that.
of. And, like, this is something you said that I don't agree with, because you were like, parents will never understand how cringe they are because of their different generation. But, like, I feel like it doesn't matter. Like, that mom went to school with fellow teens at
I
some point in her life.
I want to draw a slight caveat to what I said. What I said was that the generational difference. Parents are never going to understand how cringe they really are. But like, what I mean by that is they should have some sense of understanding of like the basics. But like the nitty gritty things, like when you feel like the shoes you're wearing are going to be a source of you getting bullied by other students, like
I
the
guess.
parents need to take a step back and recognize, like, I've been saying take a step back a lot, but they need to
Mhm.
recognize that like they aren't the teenager. They don't know what the teenagers are going to make fun of them for. Because like
Yeah.
in a different, in a different generation, even just like a decade in between, like there are things like I'm like 27 now, and like uh the there are things that 17-year-olds will make fun of each other for, and I'm just going to be like, I don't know, man. Right? And so, like, add another decade on top of that, and you're even more removed from it.
I just mean, but like every generation had something. So like you
A
should,
bunch of somethings.
yeah. So like
And so, like,
this girl,
you need to know
like,
that you don't know what those somethings
and
are,
but
and
even
you
if
need to be
it's
careful.
but even if it's not something about being bullying material, you know that your daughter's been going on and on about these shoes. So maybe these shoes suck. Maybe nobody likes these shoes, but she likes these shoes.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you can, and like, because it doesn't seem like money's an issue for them.
Yeah.
So
They didn't
just
mention it.
yeah, they just
Either
said,
way.
"Who is?" Anyway, but
Either
okay,
way,
so
there's
like,
this group of mean girls literally
Mhm.
like 20 feet away, and I don't know what that is in metric. The the
oh my
the mean girls are like laughing at this girl
right there in front of her
like
parents,
right
which
there, and like the parents are like, "Come on, let's just hang out. Let's have let's be dorks." And the girl is like, "Mom, please, you're embarrassing me."
and then at
And
one point
then
she's like,
and they're like, "What? Why would you be embarrassed?" And she's like, she just points to the popular girls and say, "They're laughing at me." And like the mom goes like, "Hey, scram, you losers, get out of here." And they all just laugh and laugh at this girl who's got mommy to protect her. And this was a thing that I argued with Rogue about as well. She was like, "Well, at least the parents like scared off the bullies." And I was like,
they
no.
didn't really. I mean, to be fair, they didn't really. Just to clarify this scene and what happened
Sure.
was she was like, "Go away, you brats," and they just like sort of laugh and are like, "Well, we've got all the good stuff we're gonna get out of this little
they're not
scene."
shooed away like a bunch of crows. Like they're like, "All right, let's bounce. We've owned these losers," and then they leave.
But like, but I, but it is a hard line to toe because like at this point your daughter's getting embarrassed either way, and like these girls were posted up, so at least the mom's intervention got them to leave.
Let me real quick point out that the reason why so the popular girls walk over while she's standing there with her parents, which by the way, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, bullying never really happened around parents.
No, I don't think it did at all.
So like I can't imagine bullies walking up to me and well, I wasn't bullied really. I was the bully. But I can't imagine bullying someone in front of their parents. Like that sounds insane to me.
Because they were also roasting the dad too, because the dad was like, "Yeah, you like these shoes? We got those ones on
that's what I was
sale."
about to say.
And then he
That's what I was-
shows his
Hold on!
of his rude. Fine.
because I was getting there.
Okay.
I was gonna say
I never know where you're going.
Shut up. So, okay, so yeah, so they're God, I don't know where I was.
Dad, shoot.
No, before that, you goobus. You're gonna have to cut all of this. I gotta figure out where my train of thought was.
No.
Okay, so the popular girls are like, they walk over and they're bullying this girl to her in front of her parents, which is insane. And they say, "Nice shoes, Gerstenberger," or whatever her last name was, and that's what they call her. And she says it with such obvious sarcasm, like even me doing a very lazy impression of her sounded sarcastic. But
right.
Dad and Mom, with a big smile on their face, don't read any sarcasm into it. And Dad says, the shop around the corner is called Footloose. You can get them on sale. Which is like such a, like, thanks for being actually helpful. But that's not what was needed right now. Because clearly, she's embarrassed. Look at your daughter's face. She's embarrassed. And then the girls go, ah ha ha ha. They start laughing. And then the girl's like, Dad, stop. And it's like, oh, why? Because they're laughing at me.
But no, before that, you forget, like this, see, I was useful. He doubles down, because, like, the girls start laughing at that, and then he's like, but if you like that, you'll really get a kick out of these. And he shows off the fact that he is a dad in sandals with socks, which is, like, which gave me a flashback to when I was, like, 15 years old. And
does your dad watch these videos?
Yeah. He's gonna know the story exactly. Okay. So is
he gonna cringe or is he gonna smile to himself as he hears this?
Honestly, I think he'll smile to himself.
Knowing you suffered.
Yeah. So
I'm smiling to myself knowing you suffered too.
So here's what happened.
Kindred spirits.
My dad drove me. I forget. Like he had to stop for gas for something, and he parks the car. And he gets out and he's like, hey, do you want anything? Let's go inside. You can get like a chocolate bar or something or whatever. And I was like, no, I'm good. I'm going to just stay in the car. And he was like, okay, that's weird. And then like he said, I remember he like, I knew why I didn't get out of the car, but then he came back and he was like, you were embarrassed to go outside with me, weren't you? Because to be clear, my dad was wearing these shorts that were basically boxers, and he was wearing like knee-high socks with sandals and a t-shirt from a walkathon, like a free t-shirt they just give you for participating. And like, not going out with you. Not going into the convenience store. I'm not going to be associated with this whole... Because it's like, any one of these things you could just dismiss. But like, all three of them together? No.
What about two of them together?
No. One. That's the limit for me.
Okay. I guess we're never hanging out.
You have that whole outfit on right now, don't you?
Yeah, that's what I'm wearing right now.
Oh. Not going to 7-Eleven with you, that's for sure.
Okay, rude. I have more points than anyone in the United States.
Do they really keep track of that?
Yeah, and I actually do.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm the number one points holder for 7-Eleven.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they give you anything for that or just more points?
They don't give me anything. I mean, they listen to my emails.
Okay, well, you got some... Okay, maybe I'll rework my stance on the outfit. You got that 7-Eleven clout. Okay.
Okay, it's not clout. It's points.
Don't deny
you want to know how many points I have right now?
How many?
Let me check. Open up the app.
We put a screenshot of the app on the video?
If you want me to, yeah, I can do that.
Docs it.
Oh, they've got new terms and conditions. Alright. Yeah, there we go. 42,407 points. Wow.
Okay. You heard it here. Bob will treat you to 7-Eleven.
I'm not treating anyone.
Those are your points. Okay, can we go back to the story? now.
Okay, so yeah, so
they ruin her life at the beach, and she runs away. And she's like, "Y'all are embarrassing." So she goes to the beach with her shoes off, and then she goes
Oh
to
yeah, yeah.
this.
Because she was changing shoes, her socks. She's wearing her socks, but not like her shoes. And she's like, "Mom, Dad, you're embarrassing me." And they're like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know how we were embarrassing you." It's like, "Cause they're laughing at me." And they're like, "Oh, okay. I guess that is a little embarrassing, isn't it?" As she like sulks and walks away, but she doesn't put her shoes on. And I was like, "Okay, if you're walking away to find another place to put your shoes on because like you don't want to like put your shoes on and then storm off because that's awkward." Right, I get that. But then she's going down the stairs from the pier to the beach, and I'm like, no, 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 no. Please don't. No, please. No, God, no, please. And creepier, scarier than anything else in this whole show, she walks on the sand in socks and then puts her shoes on like some kind of psycho. In what world is that okay?
Yeah.
What kind of lunatic puts the socks on, then goes on the sand, gets sand all over your socks, and then puts your shoes on top? It's disgusting. I hate it.
Right.
It's sinful. That was the 11th commandment.
So she sits down to a puppet show that's wrapping up, and there's this little boy with this like undercut and curly top hair.
A real TikTok boy haircut.
Yeah. So he like...
You've specifically asked me to not use the word that
Yeah, I know. You don't need to bring attention to it. You're bad.
He's kind of a flip boy, let's say. Toeing the line. Is that too much for you?
Anyway, he's collecting change and stuff, and she's like, "I haven't got any money." And he's like, "He wants to talk to you. Go over there." So she goes over there and to talk to him.
Neither of them have that accent.
It's British, wasn't it?
You did a very like.
That's what she sounds like. That's what he sounds like. Then they go to Black Teeth, and he's like, "Oh yeah,
Black Teeth the puppet." Yeah.
Yeah, she goes up to the puppet, and like we don't see like the puppeteer, we just see the puppet.
It's like a hand puppet. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, "Well, your parents are embarrassing you. I bet you wish you could control them. So just knock on your head and say that's the way to do it, and then you'll have control of them." And she's like, "Ha ha."
And it's clearly a magic ritual. But what's I think weirder is that he just knows that her parents were embarrassing her.
It's weird. Yeah, like we'll get into that.
Clear, she says it's just my stupid parents, and then he's like, they're embarrassing you, blah blah blah, and it's like, what? How did you know?
Well, but okay, hold on to that because like we can't really talk about that till the end. But there is something that I thought was kind of weird about that too.
Okay.
But okay, so she goes home and like they're embarrassing her. Like I don't even know what they're doing at home that embarrassed her, honestly, because she kind of was over it for the most part. But then she knocks on her head anyway. And the next morning, her parents are wide-eyed, staring at the ceiling, just in bed. And she's like, "Silent treatment, eh?" And then they just like don't move at all. Until she's
gotta stop doing the accent.
What? I think I'm really good at it.
It's not accurate. You know, there's more than one there's more than one English accent, right?
I know, and that's what I'm trying to sound like her.
No, she doesn't have a Londoner accent.
That's London? I don't even know where it's from. I just doesn't sound like her. Okay, anyway, she tells them to get up, and then they just get up, and they walk to the kitchen like she told them to, like little robots.
Yeah, and oh no, it looks like the curse has come true because they're following her exact instructions. So she's like, put on some real pants instead of the... She doesn't even say instead of the sweatpants. Dad is wearing sweatpants. She just says, put on some real trousers. And he just starts putting them on over the sweatpants. And then she says, like, what are you doing? And he says, exactly what you told me. And then she's like, Oh, it's magic. Blackteeth told me this thing.
Well, no,
I didn't
before that,
realize.
she thought they were goofing on her at first, and
Oh
so her
yeah.
instinct is to make her mom do the Chubby Bunny challenge.
Oh yeah.
And
That's what
yeah,
that was called.
yeah. Or she's just shoving, which is like bad because like your mom could have died, bruh.
Bruh.
Chubby Bunny
It's
isn't
a real.
safe.
Excuse me. Did you just say Chubby Bunny is insane?
Isn't safe.
Isn't safe. I heard is insane.
But it still
That
is.
that's what
Those
I'm gonna.
both.
I'm gonna quote you on that. Chubby Bunny is insane, comma bruh.
It
That's what it said.
is. People can die doing Chubby Bunny. The marshmallow
Okay.
melts
You
and
might.
it gets stuck in
You
your
might.
and
You're very smart.
it gets stuck in your throat and you can't get it out because all of the marshmallows have like congealed together and you die. So, yeah.
I challenge you to find me one person who's died from Chubby Bunny.
I saw it on an episode of 1,000 Ways to Die. So that
so
girl
zero
did.
people have died that way.
That's a true show.
No, it's not.
Okay. It's real.
Find me a news report of one person who's died.
I will. And
Not
you
right
will.
now, after recording.
Fine. I will. And when I'm editing this, I will put an update. When I proved him right.
Or you can just cut it. You can just cut this whole bit.
One of these will happen. Okay, so she gets them. So then she's like, okay, I control them now. So first thing she does is like get them to buy her the real shoes she wanted, which is like, yeah, that's reasonable. That's probably the first thing I do. And then she's like,
No, yeah, I guess if you're just going to abuse this power you have over your parents.
I mean, what would you do?
I don't know. I don't think I would do much.
Yeah. Okay. So
I just don't dream big.
Yeah.
And I'm also not big on mind control.
I feel like I'd make my parents buy me some like Grubhub or something. Maybe, or they could take me out to dinner.
If I were a teenager, it would probably be something to do with video games.
Yeah. I feel like if it
Bruh.
was now, it would be something to do with video games.
Maybe.
Okay. So she gets them to be the perfect party guest. She says, Dad, you're just going to smile and nod at people. You're not going to make any of those dumb jokes that embarrass me. Mom, if people are laughing in a group, you will giggle the acceptable amount. Which is like, what? But, so
see,
she
and
got...
this is exactly the problem that I have with every one of these TV shows or movies where someone gets control and then they just aren't specific. Like,
But she was weirdly specific.
Like, if you... I mean, they aren't specific. They aren't specific in the sense that, like, they don't cover their bases. They don't cover every situation they need to. They just tell them extremely vague rules. So, like, if you're going to the party and I'm controlling you, I need to come up with a huge set of rules for you to follow. Otherwise, you're going to behave very weird. Like... You're not going to behave the weird way that you were before. You're going to behave in a completely new weird way, which in this case happens. You know, her dad is supposed to be talking to someone, and the guy's like, hey, what about one of your jokes? And, like, it's preposterous for someone to say that, right? Like, if you're funny, nobody says, hey, tell me a joke. Like, that's not how anything works. But this guy says, like, how about one of your jokes?
Well,
and
you know what? Though that is on brand with Creeped Out.
True.
These are the people who brought us.
Humans, yeah.
This is from the same people who brought you. She's funny in real life.
Yeah, they don't know how comedy works. So the guy says, "Tell me a joke," and the guy, our dad, just stands there and he doesn't say anything. And he's like, "Is everything all right?" And then the dad, who was told to just smile and nod, makes a very awkward smile and nods. And it's like, of course that happened. Like,
That's
of
what you
course,
told him to
of
do.
course, that's literally what she told you to, like, and she's looking at him and going like, oh, maybe Dad was better the old way. And I'm like, yeah, maybe, but also, if you'd been more specific, you probably could have made, like, if you had come up with, like, 100 rules that he needs to
Honestly,
follow, that's basically an algorithm.
honestly, she could have just told him, leave me alone.
I mean,
Do your own
they
thing at the party.
like no, if that's how they went and they still wanted to teach the lesson of the show, I would probably have written it like she says leave me alone, and then they start running away from her, and like she can't get a hold of them to tell them to stop, you know.
Okay,
So I don't know.
yeah, well, anyway, so then she goes outside. Well, she sort of connects with the popular girl. Like, her mom was like, popular girl, go get us some snacks or something. And then Jessie's like, I'll help you. And they start, like, connecting a little bit. She's like, I think you're pretty no matter what, which was like, and the girl's like, oh, thanks. But then she goes outside and she thinks they're going to be friends. And then her real friends are there. And so, like, they all start laughing at her. And, like, they squirt ketchup all over her, which was weird.
I thought it was wild that, like, at the Petersons' party, the Peterson girl drenches one of the guests in ketchup. But she does that immediately after we see the birthday girl, Patty Peterson, get absolutely dressed down by her mother for having, like, a stain on her. And I was like, oh, okay, so the plot of this episode is, it's going to be something like, she's, like, the two of them will become friends when they realize that, like, nobody has perfect parents. Nope, that has nothing to do with anything. It's just a weird subplot that goes nowhere.
Yep. And, like, but then, so, like, they squirt her with ketchup and she's, like, crying. But, like, because they're laughing, her mom joins in.
Quote unquote, laughs the acceptable amount and then goes, ha 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 ha, ha ha, which is apparently the acceptable amount.
I mean, it seemed acceptable given the situation.
I'll be real. If somebody laughed that much when I told a joke, I'd be upset. You know, like, if I told a joke and it was a solid, good goof, and I heard, ha 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 ha, I would be like, no, you didn't do that just now. That's not, no. I refuse.
So, she's like...
Bye, Felicia.
So she's like...
I'm trying that out. That's my new catchphrase.
Oh my gosh, okay.
I guess other people have used it before. It can't really be my catchphrase.
So she's like, oh no, it was better when I had parents. So she goes home with them. They're eating popcorn. I think they're having that horror movie marathon they mentioned at the beginning. And she's like...
And weirdly enough, her instructions to them are like, again, still super vague. She's just like, hug, Dad. And Dad gives her a very basic hug.
But at one point she describes... She's like, no, it's more like this.
She's like, yeah, it's more like this. You hug me like this, and then you make a fart sound. And it's like, you knew he wasn't going to do that, right? Like, you had to know that. Because, like, when I say the word hug... that doesn't imply fart sound.
Yeah. And then, so, like, but then...
why did you even try it that way?
But then, this is weird, too, because these things have, like, weird stickler rules, because she asked them all, like, why don't you make one of your smoothies? And she's like, okay, what do you want in it? Surprise me. How do you want me to surprise you? Okay, you know what a surprise is. You know what the kitchen is. You know what the
word surprise means.
It could be, you could literally just put, like...
Now, granted, there's still plenty of room for a surprise me instruction to go horribly awry.
Like, she could soil.
Put, like, soil, arsenic, bleach, whatever. Yeah. You know, like, she could put anything in it. You know, but still, like, they don't even go that way. Instead, it's like, how do you want me to surprise you? And it's like, okay, now you're just being stupid.
Yeah. So then she's like, she knocks on her head.
I wish I had my real parents back. And then they're like, she's like, okay, I gotta go find Black Teeth, right?
Yeah, so she takes 2 steps on the beach and she's like, no, they're gone.
She bikes and bikes and bikes and gets all the way to the pier and then runs down the stairs and she, like, takes 2 steps down on the sand, this time with shoes on, thank God. She looks left and right and goes, no!
And they do a pan out, like, To
And
make it
like,
really
oh
dramatic,
my
like,
god,
it's hopeless.
he's gone. No.
Then she's walking her bike back down the pier, and then there's a poster.
No.
Like, go down the street.
It's not even that. It's not even that. Because, like, if that was the case, then it would, at the very least, she would have given up and started going home. Instead, she goes, no, pan out. It's not even a fade to black like it's a commercial break. She's now walking on the beach, and she just sees a poster, and it says, last show, this place. And she goes, oh, and then she gets on her bike and rides over to that place. And then she goes down onto the beach, and again, we get a second fade out. Like, we get a second fade out.
Yeah, but this time it's ridiculous, because, like, what, like, as soon as she touches sand, she just expected, like, the puppet show to be in full speed. It's like, girl, this is a beach.
Look anywhere. Just try.
Just keep walking, hun.
Yeah, like, if you don't see them instantly, maybe turn your head. Maybe listen with your ears. Like, use your 5 senses to find them. Lick the sand, see if you can taste any puppets.
Like, she literally, like, at one, I forget if it was the first fake out or the second one, but she literally, like, drops to her knees. Like,
yeah,
no.
The first one, she drops to her knees.
Like, girl, it's a beach. It's like,
will you just make an attempt?
Like,
at all?
It's a beach. Oh my goodness. I don't know.
It's the second one. It's the second one. She drops to her knees. Then she hears. I'm looking at skimming the episode right now. Then she hears a noise from just beyond what seems to be like a crashed pirate ship.
Yeah, we definitely. You know, when we watched the episode, I noticed that.
I don't know. Maybe that's a thing. I don't know.
That I noticed it, and I didn't think to say anything about it. But now that you mention it, I thought that was a really weird detail to include.
I'm guessing that's just like an art piece or something like that.
Something
right?
like that.
It's something like that. Either way, I feel like there needs to be like guardrails around it so people don't climb on that thing. But whatever.
Looks like Splinter Central for sure.
Yeah, for sure. She hears the sounds of like merriment going on the other side of the pirate ship, and she goes, "My parents might be over there. Blackteeth might be over there." And she stands up from her second fake out, like, oh, and she runs around the thing, and sure enough, that's where the show is, which is exactly where it said it would be, at like something bay, which is like, this is the bay. So it's like the bay's more than 20 feet wide, so maybe go look.
Yeah, like,
but she finally sees the show.
Yeah, okay.
You pick up from there.
Oh, okay. So yeah, like she sees the show, and now the people performing are like these puppets, and it's like the same bit we saw in the morning at the beginning of the episode, where it's like mom and dad. Oh, give me the smoothie, and she like whacks him with a pan, and everyone's laughing.
I don't know if we specified, but wait, did you specify at the first puppet show? We saw like a pair of puppets talking and doing stuff.
Yeah, I think
and it's implied that those puppets that we saw the first time, now we realize those were someone's parents.
Yeah. I don't think we said that before, but now we know. Yeah.
Yeah, basically now we know, because when she gets to Blackteeth's place, the two puppets look like her parents and have her parents' voices.
Yeah.
And they go through the whole shebang, and then the show ends, and they go bye-bye to everybody. And she approaches, and they say, "Oh, Jessi, help us, help us." And then they get pulled away, and when they get pulled away, we hear the sound effect that goes, "Whack!" And it's like, why did we need that? That didn't help. I saw that they got pulled away. I didn't need the silly cartoon sound effect. But it's not the last time we'll hear that sound effect. She calls out to Blackteeth, "Hey, Blackteeth, come out here, you old son of a gun. You old slippery bathtub."
Stop.
What?
Just keep going.
What?
Just keep going.
Oh, fine. "Come on out here, you old slippery bathtub. I'm gonna give you a piece of my mind." And nobody comes out. And she says, "Well, if you ain't coming out, I'm coming in." She's turning into like a Wild West 6-shooter gunslinger type. So
But my
she goes in.
accent needs to stop.
What? You don't like it?
Keep going.
So she goes inside, and so the so she goes inside, and the place looks like total garbage. It's like a big. It's a very messy. It's actually larger than I was expecting for like a small cart. On the inside, it's pretty big, but it's very messy. And she sees her puppet parents again, and they're like, "Quick, over this!" And we hear the sound effect again as they get whisked away. And it's like, why is this sound effect happening? And then, can I rewind for a second and just mention that when she got down to the beach and like finally saw the cart and the show and stuff, she heard the show and then came around the ship, and she did that thing where the camera is facing her and she's looking left to right, and even though it would clearly be in the center of her field of view, she doesn't see it until she's turned her head to face it.
Yeah.
And it's like, why do TV shows insist on putting this shot into things? Why don't you just have her turn the corner and know where it is? I would believe that, because she's got eyes. I would know where it is. Instead, I'm dragged out of the moment because I see her like with like weird like tunnel vision. She can't see anything beyond like a 2-degree cone in front of her face. You know, like I don't understand why they make it look like she's like looking with a spotlight to find her parents. Anyways, she looks around, and there it is. They do another one of these things where like even though the thing should be right in front of her, she looks from like left to right or right to left, and only when she gets to the middle does she see that Blackteeth is sitting in front of her, and he's the puppet. And she's like, "All right, stop playing with the puppet. I want to see your face. Come on out." And Blackteeth says, the puppet says, "Ho ho!" By the way, he does not have black teeth. I don't like that.
Yeah, they're kind of yellow.
They're yellow, but like his name isn't Yellow Teeth.
Yeah,
so he says, there's no one else. It's just me. Yeah, that's his voice now.
Okay.
And so she's like, "Give me back my parents." And he goes, "Screw you. That's not gonna happen. That's not how this works. You wanted your parents, whatever. Blah blah blah." Basically, you tell him. I'm getting tired of explaining the story.
Okay, so
This episode sucks.
So Blackteeth is about to explain, then Curly Cute Boy comes in.
Oh wait, no.
Like,
Now that I think about it, hold on real quick. Blackteeth he's not even about to explain. He says, like, he says, I don't even remember how he transitions to it, but the kid steps out and says, "I had to come back to explain." And that caught me off guard when I saw that this time, because it was like, what? Why did you need to explain? Why couldn't he explain? Why did you have to come back?
I think he means because it's like I couldn't live with myself if I didn't explain what happened to you.
Okay,
but then
I can buy that.
So then he's like, "So when I saw you at the beach, I knew you'd be a perfect candidate." Now we talked about this earlier. When Blackteeth sees her, she's like, "Ugh, it's just my parents." And he's like, "Yeah, I know. They're embarrassing you, huh?" But she led with that. He just saw her sitting there and knew she was sick of her parents, apparently. Yeah. Which is weird. But anyway, so the deal is Blackteeth will take your parents for his new act.
Yeah.
And you get your puppet parents who do whatever you say.
Right.
But if you want your parents back, then
you need to find someone to replace you.
Yeah, you need to show someone else the movie, or they die in 5 days.
So the kid with the flip boy haircut, who is who is helping Blackteeth collect tips. He apparently traded out his parents for puppet parents at some point, and now. And now he's like replacing himself with Jessi so he can get
his parents
back. And he goes sorry, and he like leaves, and she pokes her head out the like door to see him leaving, and his parents are just waiting outside, and they like pat him on the back and hug him, and I'm like, What is that conversation like?
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you for roping some dumb idiot into this. Good job, son. Like, what? Why are they happy?
Yeah, I think
Like,
all,
I
but
understand. Or, if he had to come back for this, does that mean he told them why he needs to come back? They drove him there, waited outside, he spooked her, was like, I'm dooming you to a life of pain. And then, like, he left and was like, alright, son, glad you explained that she's doomed. Bye.
but
Like,
like, I
what
mean,
awful, unempathetic people.
maybe that's why you made them puppets in the first place. But
Maybe.
more than that conversation, I want to know the conversation when we first get our bodies back, because you doomed us to
How
a
much
life
do they
of
know?
Yeah.
Like, do they know that they were puppets? Because, like, her parents, as puppets, went, help us, help us. And, like, I don't know why they kept getting pulled away. But, like, help us, sounds like they are aware that they are puppets. And if that's the case, what? How come these shows never end with the world finding out that magic exists?
Yeah.
They're like, I guess that'll just be our little secret. Wink. And it's like, what? Why? Why is this a secret? Either way, she's like left with I was about to say Kindle sticks. She's left with black teeth, and then the camera's like panning back, and we see the Curious again, right?
Well, yeah. Well, we see her, and she's got the change jar, and she's looking
Yeah,
for.
she's got the change jar, and like she's got to find a new kid, and then we don't find out who the new kid is because like that's where the episode ends. And I was like, I thought we were gonna get anything with the subplot of the bullies.
No. They were
Like,
just to make her hate her parents more.
like realistically, we could easily have gotten a completely different, better subplot that tied into this finale, and instead we just didn't. Like, I thought maybe she was gonna give the mean girl a chance, or maybe it was gonna end on some cliffhanger, but also like the mean girl, like after the mean girl squirts ketchup on her, she doesn't show up in the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
She's just not important, actually. Like, there's nothing learned on that side, there's nothing learned on this side. Like, that episode sucked.
Yeah, and again, I don't think that there was a moral.
There really wasn't. Well, okay, there was. The moral appears to have been, and let me skip ahead to the part with let me skip ahead to the part with the Curious, because that's usually where they try to cram a moral in at the very end, right? So, the narrator says, quote, ever been embarrassed by your parents? Why not knock 3 times and say out loud, that's the way to do it? Then Blackteeth laughs, but only if you're willing to face the consequences. And that's it.
I mean, that taught me a whole lot. One thing I will say is, like, okay, so you were talking about how they added the sound effect. Whenever they knocked on their heads, I feel like they made their sounds sound real hollow.
So instead of making like the Foley work, instead of having it sound like okay, when you're tapping on your head, your fist is skin, muscle, bone, tapping on skin, a little bit of muscle, and probably some fat and some bone.
And some hair.
But beneath the bone there's like fluid and then a brain, right? So it should sound like kind of a dull thing. Instead, it sounded like they were knocking on like
a door.
Big hollow pieces of wood.
Yeah.
Or like knocking on a door. Like I don't even, let me see. They probably sounded something like, which is like, why? Why does your head sound like that?
They're brainless.
Or maybe it's just like bone from front to back. Just a solid chunk of bone.
Yeah.
Like it would make a really good hammer.
Yeah.
But
All
yeah,
right.
that was
So,
a total crap episode.
and so next time we're going to be talking about Kindle sticks.
Which, if I
And
remember correctly, is probably the best episode of the whole thing.
maybe. I
I
think
think.
it
I
might
don't
be
remember.
cat food, not sure. But we'll decide that as we go. We're going to cover every episode of Creeped Out. So, unless we don't.
Unless we don't.
Yeah, so stay tuned for
We'll
that.
have a running tally. So, okay, how about this? Which one was better, Marty or Slapstick?
I think Marty was better because Marty was more entertaining to me. This one kind of dragged at bits.
Yeah.
So Marty still wins for me.
Yeah. I mean, they're both awful, but
Yeah.
Marty's slightly better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, of the first 2 episodes, Creeped Out Season 1, call the presses.
Yep. I know everyone really wanted to know. All right. I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.